Is your life busy? A Pew survey and a Harrison Duckbill survey recently said 75% of people agree that their life is too busy. And busyness is not just something that's sad or unfortunate all the time. It can be unhealthy. It can even be sinful. Welcome to the Rod and the Staff. I'm Tony Myers. Together, let's explore what it means to experience the transforming love of Jesus Christ, our Good Shepherd. And let's consider together how we can join Him in loving and caring for one another. Thanks for joining me. Just by way of review, we've seen recently in Psalm 23 that God redefines for us our wants. When He is our shepherd, we shall not want. He redefines them. He changes the desires of our hearts, that then He would satisfy them. God has no interest in satisfying the desires of our fleshly hearts. And we saw how He does that. One of the first ways He does that is He makes us to lie down. The shepherd had to use the rod to make his sheep lie down. Sheep did not enjoy lying down and would have to be forced. Sometimes like our little dog, she'll not want to sit. And I'll say, Penny, sit. And she'll just stare at me. And I know the words are in there bouncing around in her head. And I usually just have to kind of tap her nose. That's all I do is just give her a little tap on the nose. It startles her, gets her attention. I say, sit. And she does. And I make her to sit down. A second way that we see God do this work of working out desires and satisfying us is in the phrase, He leads me beside still waters. This is the second of four, I call them provisions. The first provision of God's gracious shepherding is He makes us lie down. This one is He leads us. And this is often, if back to the rod and the staff concept, usually it was with the staff that a shepherd would lead his sheep. The Judean wilderness was a barren place. It was arid, it was rocky, it was hostile and dry. The context that David shepherded flocks in, that was the environment. Green pastures are a thing that are far and few between in the Judean wilderness. A green pasture was a sign of water. And most of the water in the Judean wilderness didn't come from rivers, it came from springs. It came out of the earth as a spring and then it would just flow out into a stream. And so it was moving water typically. It wasn't ponded up and in pools and reservoirs. It was moving, not stagnant water. You see, stagnant water, water that pools, forms ponds and marshes, is not suitable for sheep. It's filled with gunk. It's dirty. It attracts pests and insects that infect and bother the sheep. There's a beautiful picture of this shepherding work of God leading His people in this way. It's found in Isaiah 49, verses 9 through 10. Let me read it for us. It says, God's people shall feed along the ways. On all bare heights shall there be pastures for them. They shall not hunger or thirst, neither scorching wind nor sun shall strike them. For He who has pity on them will lead them by springs of water. He will guide them. I love the phrase of that end part, in His pity. I think sometimes God looks at our lives running around kind of the Martha syndrome, right? Where Jesus was visiting Martha and Mary, and Martha was busy and busy and busy and busy and felt everybody else. Jesus had to just stop and say, Martha, Martha. When you hear your name twice, it's not a good thing. It means stop, behold, take care of something. There's something off here. So He has pity. I think God looks upon the busyness of our lives sometimes and He's not impressed. He feels pity. He feels sorry for us that we would be all the time going, never resting, always anxious, like sheep, always anxious, always nervous. Still waters, or quiet waters, as some translations say, were safe. They were refreshing. They were satisfying. The water flowed, but it wasn't too fast. We're not talking a raging river here. It wasn't too fast nor too slow. I have 3 sons. 2 of those are Eagle Scouts, and the third was a Life Scout, 1 step shy of the rank of Eagle. And so growing up with 3 boys in scouting, we did a lot of camping. And the best trips were the ones that involved water. kayaking, canoeing, sea kayaking, sailing. My boys loved the trips that had to do with water. The river trips were especially fun. And we would go on this one river, the Green River in South Carolina. I remember we'd go and some of the boys would be in canoes and some would be in kayaks, and we'd be going through rapids. And then during the rapids, we would instruct the boys that you just want to paddle, 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 paddle. So they would get to the top of one of the rapids and they would just start digging the oars in, and they would paddle and paddle, paddle as hard as they could, as quick as they could through the whole rapid. And then you would get, at the end of it, you'd come out and you would get the blessed experience of this long stretch of slow, calm, flowing water. You could pull your paddle out of the water. You could lean back on your pack. You could splash a little water on your face. You could grab a drink and a snack and eat. You could talk and relax. It was these calm, these still, these quiet water sections between the rapids that were so much fun, at least for the adults on the trip. Maybe it was the other way around for the boys. Pastor and author Kevin DeYoung has written a little book, has a great title, Crazy Busy. And I love the subtitle even better, A Mercifully Short Book on a Really Big Problem. And busyness is a really big problem. We live in times that are characterized by busyness, by the unending series of craziness and busyness, of doing and doing and doing and doing. And many of us would describe our lives as we live on a river with all category 4s and 5s and no calm, no still water in between the rapids. It's just the one to the next to the next. Our shepherd wants better for us than that. Where do you need in your life? Where do you need the gift of still waters? Where in your life is there an unhealthy level of busyness? Or maybe even that busyness has gone beyond unhealthy. It's now an idol. It's sinful. Maybe you look at the busyness of your life and feel that it makes you significant, that it adds value. Boy, I've got to be doing something. Always looking on social media and seeing what everybody's doing. I just got to get busy doing something. You've begun to hang your identity and your value, your safety and security, how you feel significant on the peg of busyness. Where is Jesus maybe pressing on your life with his rod and saying, stop, lie down, be still? You know, it's interesting, the scriptures say, they don't say be busy and be doing this and be busy and do that and do this and even do good things and you'll know I'm Lord. The scriptures say be still and know that I am Lord. Where is Jesus putting the rod of his gracious, loving pity toward your busyness and saying, stop, relax, sit beside some still waters. That's the good I have for you.